the K, the R, the B, the X, B, now.
Yes, y'all. Jason D, and this is Radio Boise. KRBX 89.9 FM, Caldwell, Boise. 93.5 if you're downtown. Streaming on the web at radioboise.org. Jason D, Trav G, special guest, Axiom the Wyze, and the place to be.
Yeah. What up?
Let me run it back real quick, and then we'll chop it up with you. We heard from JR, Nicholas Craven, Unparalleled, featuring Ransom versus Everybody for Jason D. Ason, Eastwood, and Finn, The Soul. That was off their great album, The Soul. We did an album feature on that. Trav, you might recall.
Yep.
Evidence, Better You. He's got 3 singles out now, building the anticipation for the album.
June 25th?
Yeah, Unlearning Volume 1. Such a dope concept.
Looking forward to that, man.
You are so convinced that something's true and then you learn it's not. Are you willing to unlearn it? Are you that man, what a theme of the craziness in this country.
Especially, this time of age.
Yeah, the past year.
Day of age.
Shouts to Ev, Agala Don Bishop with Admire the Greats. That's off Francisco Blanco. He's probably got 7 other albums out by now that I need to catch up on.
Busy.
Shouts to Conway, Bruiser Brody. A lot of, anytime hip hop heads get together, there's the West Side Gun versus Benny versus Conway, and tonight's no exception. Shouts to Axiom and DJ Exclusive. We had that conversation. Ransom with Gluttony, featuring Lloyd Banks off his new album 7. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is not album feature time. It is not Trav G Picks of the Week. It is live in studio. Axiom the Wyze is here. Let's give it up one time for my man, Axiom.
Man, thanks for having me.
Okay, I'm going to take you back to start here.
All right.
So, it's February 29th. Zero has an album release party. You're performing. Ian J's performing. The illest lyricist. Andy O, Clev. I mean, to me, that's like my last great hip-hop memory before the world went to hell.
That was like, what, six years ago now?
Yeah. Is pandemic time like dog years?
Yeah.
It took a really long time, and then it also went, it just depends on the thing. I don't know, man. So you and Zero move in lockstep. You guys tend to do albums together, support each other touring. So you have this record release party, and literally like 3 weeks later, the country shuts down. What did that interrupt for you guys? Did you guys have like tour stuff? Like what? Like as an independent artist, heading into? Can you even remember?
That's so long ago. I just remember first not wanting to take it seriously.
Right.
Because I think we had that other show, because there was so Tree Fort was supposed to happen around then.
In March,
They turned that down, and so then we were going to try to put together a
I remember that.
Like, we're going to do it anyway show.
Yeah, no offense, because you guys were like, hey, do you want to be down with this show, this like rebellious show? And we're no, we do not want to be down.
That's a bad look.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what I told you. I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be like the flat earther. The flat earther of hip hop. Like, this is real, bro.
So we tried doing that, and it was like, oh, this is a lot more real than we thought it was.
Right.
This is a lot bigger than we thought it was. This is a lot more inconvenient than we thought it was.
Well, and honestly, I fault the media because. And partly the government, because they were just like 3 more weeks.
Right.
Like we were all working 3 weeks, 21 days at a time.
Right.
And so why not book a show 21 days later?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's like, it'll be over by then.
Yeah.
We'll be out of this by the end of March. We'll be fine. Wrong again.
Yeah, wrong.
No, and I think there's like those stages of grief and denial that happen, right? And you're like, I don't want to accept this.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just sit around and you're like, what am I going to do now? So do we plan for? They said a couple months later, so maybe July? Can we start looking towards July?
Right.
And then it was like, nah, just get comfy.
Yeah.
Sit tight, get comfy.
So what did that do to your creative process? Because I have an observation that I can barely name, if anybody, a local who released music in that first year. It's like I don't want to say it crushed everybody, but like on one hand you had, in theory, people with more free time than they've ever had, but not creative.
I took it as an opportunity to study, to practice, to learn a little bit more of the production side of things. So with this album, it was all recorded at home, mixed and mastered by Logic, Josh Cobbett, and that was the first time I'd ever done and released anything like that.
I've never watched more producer videos on YouTube in my life than I did in the last year.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was like where the vacuum was, the absence was creativity. It was like, well, I should do something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and so another thing I dove into was motorcycles too, right?
Right.
It's like, all right, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, so I'm going to write
I have
raps.
that on my list. We're going to talk about
Yeah,
it.
and when I don't have that, I got to, go do something else, go do something with my hands, and so I took the time to hang out with the family a lot more. I visited family that I hadn't seen in forever, really just be grateful for everything that we had, because a lot of people were very, very, very much worse off than we were. And, I got to work from home. I had a home office. And so it's like, cool, I still have an income. I can't go anywhere, but I got an income. So I'm just going to sit here and be happy with everything I got.
So keep navigating with me, because I think we're going to get to the fuel of the fire of this album.
Yeah.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
And suddenly we're not just stuck in the house because of a pandemic. Now we're outraged.
Yep.
And we can't believe what's happening. What did that do to your creative process? Because as I listen to this album, Midas, and I'll have you explain the title in a minute.
Yep.
I just I can tell where you were in time in a lot of these songs, because I felt the same.
Mm-hmm.
And still feel the same way. But I'm like, so you're investing in yourself, you're visiting family, and then racial injustice, Black Lives Matter, all those things come to the forefront. Does that fuel your pen?
Absolutely. Everything fuels the pen game. So one of my favorite lines, it's an old quote from Plato, is the repercussions, some along the lines of the repercussions for refusing to get involved in politics is you end up being governed by your inferiors. And so many of my friends and family, we had to have these very hard conversations.
Yeah.
It was tough conversations with people who you didn't align with on very sensitive topics.
Right.
And the inaction of friends and family bugged me the most.
Right.
Is they were complacent with not doing anything about things that needed to be done.
Right.
And
When somebody says, I'm not into politics, that's their privilege. That's when you see their privilege, because any person of color is involved in politics whether they want to be or not.
100%.
Yeah.
So I really tried to get more involved. I tried to do more, talk more, and use whatever I could to my advantage. And again, as a white male, I have a lot of advantages that I can use to be heard, be seen, and use my voice. I think that's why so much of it bled into the music, is because I kept analyzing, well, what can I do? I hate just sitting here watching the headlines roll in and not talking about it, not doing anything about it. And I couldn't do it. I can't be inactive. Even if I can't go anywhere, what's everybody doing? They're downloading stuff. They're buying online. They're shopping online. They're watching their YouTube Academy. They're doing everything online. So, okay, I'm going to put something online for you to pay attention to. And I really focused on streams and putting it out there for everybody to hear it. Put money behind the advertising for that message.
Yeah.
It's the music is one thing, but it's the message that I'm really, really pushing. And it just, you have to push to get involved.
Let's play Fist of Legend featuring Zero. I think that'll give people the flavor of the album. Now, there's certainly some fun, hip hop joints on there as well. But when I talk about the politically charged content, I think you're asking questions on this song. You're kind of challenging stuff. I think Zero is too. So let's introduce them to the Midas album with Fist of Legend.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Drop your sword and surrender.
I have been expecting you, King Midas.
might drop in with a mammoth. I'm immaculate, the energy is nuclear. Come and get your atom split. I'm back rapping like a bad habit. Got the passion back when I load the clip and it was never do or die, just the sake of looking fly. But much to my surprise, people dig it in, I'm nice. June 9th was the day to no longer be a martyr. Life done changed because I became a father. Yo, from here on out, you get nothing watered down. Drown you with astounding rhymes until I pass the crown. Going heavy underground, always going pound for pound. Either herbal or the rhythm, either way I got it loud. We ain't similar, we come heavy wrecking. And Black Lives Matter, always will it, don't forget it. Y'all keep pretending I can tell and it's pathetic. Got a 5-star rating, we come highly recommended, yo.
Now when you see us moving, we cruising through the biz, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is. Still moving and still cruising. We always play to win, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is.
Yo, Ax, check this out, bro. COVID taking away our ability to kick it, I'm so sick with it. Watch me stick the landing like a gymnast, what's the premise? We living in a world divided. You get us on with messages and party music start colliding. I reside in the potato state and kill you with the fade away. I fade away, can't tell if my heart beats or if it's 808. So set it straight, power to the people willing to demonstrate. We infiltrate the system to reorganize and penetrate. Get your mind out the gutter, ain't penetrating no blow. LOLs will lead you to the underworld to pay a toll. To the ferryman after they douse your ass in gasoline. Trump on a trampoline saying coffee with no Vaseline. Crazy days we live in, just to do it over again. They wanna shake their head, but don't wanna listen to sentences. So there it is, it don't add up. But do the math, lead the way. I mean, look at you, man, you cool AF.
Now when you see us moving, we cruising through the biz, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is. Still moving and still cruising. We always play to win, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is.
Heard to think we're slowing down cause dreams are getting old. Your opinions from the couch now are getting pretty bold. After we created, yo, they went and broke the mold. So middle fingers up, we gon' paint the town gold. Zero is the hero now and Axiom's the fact. Not a fan of sugarcoating when I'm laying out the facts. Mass incarceration is a scam and needs abolished. Rather throw him in a cage, yo, than send a kid to college. Oh, here we go, now we rapping all political. Beat you, this rap, you sound stereotypical. The lyrics in your verses so lazy, should be criminal. I use the mic to fight, we fight for the people.
They told us they wanted something that's less aggressive. When the fuck has that ever been progressive? What's the message? Drop kick a motherfucker. Boy, I ain't playing. Hip hop is what we do, it runs through our veins. Hey, aristocracies, commit to your hypocrisies. Don't let me take the lead, motherfucker. You won't be stopping me. This side of being after for the underdogs. Question: what gave you the idea you can stop the fist of legend?
Now when you see us moving, we cruising through the biz, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is. Still moving and still cruising. We always play to win, outshining and out rhyming. It's just the way it is.
I will defend what is mine to the death.
There is more to life than gold, but you are too blind to see that.
The K, the R, the B, the X, now.
Yes, Jason D, Trav G, hanging out with Axiom the Wyze, playing songs off his new album, Midas. So I was fortunate I got to attend a super exclusive listening party, and somehow I ended up with the mic close to me, and I said, why Midas, right? Because the legend of Midas is everything he touched turned to gold, but it wasn't necessarily a good thing. It was kind of his punishment. Yeah, it was his curse. So why Midas? What does Midas mean to you? What does that mean in the album?
To continue the conversation we've been having, it was so much of trying to get more involved and be more active, and with that it was I want to be a better father, I want to be a better husband, I want to be a better musician, I want everything I do to be better than the way I left it. And the concept hit me while I was trying to come up with a mantra of, what is the mind state I need to be in to just constantly be present everywhere I'm at, being present in the moment. I need to be something minded. I need to be something Midas minded, and that struck me, and it was just like, yeah, everything you touch, you want it to turn to gold. So it took less from the actual Greek mythology story of King Midas, and it was just everything you touch turn to gold. Add more value to everything that you do. And that's what the concept was, and eventually turned into a song and a title track, and then the whole album, and then Gold Hands and everything followed suit. So
Yeah, I mean, Trav G says, why can't beer come out of his faucet and he has to buy water? And I'm like, dude, it sounds better than it is. It really sounds better than it is. So one of the things you alluded to earlier, and I wanted to ask you about, particularly from an independent artist standpoint, you posted something online, and I'm going to paraphrase, so feel free to correct me, that you identified a very successful music manager in the industry, and you got some time with this music manager, and you immediately realized that you couldn't afford that person. So I thought maybe you can expand on that, because I thought that was pretty funny. And then you said, some of the coaching you got was about investing in marketing and promotion. And I honestly don't see a lot of artists do that. They'll put a lot of money into, recording, and then they'll press up physicals, and then there's this frustration, and there's the venting online. No one supports. How do you see independent artist promotion? Like, what have you learned that would, I think you have so many artists listening. What did you learn through that process?
A lot of it was, my day job is I work in marketing. And so a lot of it is analyzing the customer journey, right? And convincing someone to buy your product. And all the steps it takes before they even add it to the cart and click pay, right? There's so much that goes on before that even happens. And it's, okay, where did they see the product? How did they hear about the product? Was it a referral? Was it something that just popped in their face and annoyed them? How did they stumble across it? And I'm trying to apply a lot more of that concept to the music, where I want you to see it. I literally tried to pay for billboards for this album, but they wouldn't let me because they said it was too personal. Okay. And I said, my music's my business. Why not?
Right.
They didn't have it. So I'm literally trying to put it in your face all over the place. So by the time that someone says, oh yeah, that's that one thing, I heard about it from that one place. Okay. Put it everywhere, right? And so with just being independent, I probably put $4 or $5 grand into this album. Okay. And and I can tell you by most people, local artist standards, that is a lot. Like yeah. What got you to that of like, okay, I'm in and I'm gonna really fund this project? It was 2019, I believe it was. I came off a really bad tour and I wanted to give up making music. Okay. And I was like, I ended up writing about how I wanted to quit making music, and it turned into an EP. and I was like, well, giving up isn't an option.
The Quitting EP by Axiom the Wyze.
Totally. It's actually called the Untitled EP. Okay. Because I was like, I'm not even going to put a name on it, and I even threw it up, and it's not my best work. It's pretty emotional, but it's I realized in that moment where it was just like, you know what? This is a part of me. This is something so ingrained that I can't quit it even if I wanted to. Yeah. I wrote about it a lot, like a couple lines in this album and other songs where it's just like, I can't quit even if I wanted to. So, you know what? I'm just going to go all in. And anything I can afford to invest, I will.
So what did that manager advise you to do? Because they're saying, you're not at your point in your career where you can afford someone like me, but here's what you should do for someone at your point in your career. And what did they recommend?
A lot of it was branding. So first things first, get a website. That was the first thing, which I had done months prior. So in the pandemic, that was part of my me working was getting a website, getting a merch store set up, having a good online presence. Yeah. And so that matters for people just trying to book tours, book festivals, things like that. They're going to look at, what do you look like online? Because I'm not going to be able to meet you and have a sit down with you or have a phone call with you. I need to go to whateverit.com and see what you're about. So have a good display of your brand, who you are, images, videos, music. We want to be able to see the whole package. I hired a publicist to basically interview me and then write a big bio about just the music and the work that I'd been doing. Even just a lot of the social justice stuff that we've been involved in 2020, he caught glimpses of that and wrote that in the bio. So he's like, he's active in this area and that area. This is who he is. Right. Which for me, I can write raps, but talking about myself is like typically pretty uncomfortable because
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, so it's like, how do I just write down all the things I'm good at? Like, what's a bio? What do I? I'm from Boise. I like rapping.
Yeah.
I like motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's 3 sentences. I'm supposed to write a lot more than I don't know. You know, so I can't do that about myself. So it was branding, it was online presence, and then it was sales. They need to see bigger numbers. They need to see more streams. They need to see more views. I just started a YouTube channel, so trying to put more on the YouTube channel to get more just engagement.
Yeah.
And then paying. A lot of it is, set aside a certain monthly amount, even if it's $20 a month. Put that into advertising, whether it's Facebook ads or YouTube ads or anything like that. So just start small. Whatever you can afford to do, put that in and continue to grow it as best you can.
Man, thanks for dropping those jewels. I know a lot of the locals listening are like, okay, I got some work to do. So let's do this. Let's hit them with some more music. You're going to perform this one live in studio. I love that. Not too many artists are comfortable doing that. It's been a long time probably since you performed a song in studio. But this track is called 1, 2, 3. Probably one of the more straightforward, boom bap tracks on the album. How would you describe it before you run it here?
This one wasn't even supposed to be on the album. This one was, the album was done, and I was in the studio, my little home studio that I have. My daughter was passed out on the couch behind me, and I was in a mood, and it was one of those, as I was thinking about wrapping up the album, I was like, I really am appreciative of everybody who takes the time to listen, who really cares enough to go and look online and search, Axiom the Wyze on YouTube or whatever it is that they're looking for. Or they show up to a show and they actually put their hard-earned money into some merch that I designed or whatever. Like, that means the world for an independent artist.
Yeah.
So this song was really just like, man, thank you, and that's what it was. And I was just really feeling this beat when I got into it. Wrote this song in like probably 15 minutes.
Those are the best, the organic ones.
Yep.
Just happen. All right, man, let's run it. Trav G, be sure to keep the mics on because Axiom's going to do his thing.
Yeah.
I might sing a little, you never know.
Do it.
DJ exclusive, my beatbox. But for now, Axiom the Wyze. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, we're gonna slow it down.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, live. 1,
2,
3. 1, 2, 3.
Enjoy the ride is what they said, like I wasn't smiling. I pushed from the jump, always moving, always grinding. I kept on my acumen, conducted good business. Gave a raw performance, guaranteed to leave you twisted. Crazy perseverance anytime you saw the man. Always put it down for every single fan. To be honest, it's a pleasure and a blessing, it's the truth. You showed up with the hope, best believe I got you. It's an art, it's a vibe, it's a will to survive. It's a heart, it's a mind, it's my reason for life. It's worth every heartache and every sacrifice. So you better value time, best believe I value mine. Late night, can't sleep, so I'm writing rhymes. Getting lost in the rhythm, puts an ease to the mind. Sometimes I write it out and search for a beat. Right now I'm zoning out like 1, 2, 3, and 1,
2, 3. 1, 2, 3, live. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Connecting with the people, yo, to me it's never boring. I wanna feel inspired, so I wanna hear your story. Once had a fan whose mother tried to drown him, but here he was, front row, living it up. Just trying to get lost like the rest of us. Borrowed money for the merch, he had nothing to bring. I said keep your money and take one of everything. Every day he told me was like a second chance, so we live it to the fullest, never knowing God's plan. Damn it, man, what did I do to deserve him? He blessed me with a lesson, so for him I keep working. Let me hit another city feeling so inspired. Probably drive my damn self, be passing out the flies. DIY music ain't in everybody's dreams. I just wanna rock together after 1, 2, 3. I just wanna rock together after 1, 2, 3, and 1,
2, 3. 1, 2, 3, live. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
rhythm, it's a beat. It's a soul that wants to be free.
Yes, give it up one time. First live in studio performance in a year and a half on the Rec Show,
oh
man.
My gosh.
Crazy.
I'm humbled. I really am. Appreciate you.
Crazy, man. And so if you're enjoying what you're hearing, the conversation, the music, all of that, there is actually an album release party this Saturday.
Going down Saturday night at the Neurolux.
And what time does it start?
Doors at 7.
Doors at 7. And at one point, we were still operating under limited capacity. Is that still true?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got limited capacity.
50 people, is that right?
50 people, I believe, yes.
So if you're interested in seeing a live show, do not sleep. You're going to want to jump on. 50 people can go pretty quick as far as shows go. So,
yeah.
And where can they get tickets ahead of time for that?
Go to the Neurolux's website. You can go to the social medias. You can go to my social medias. There's a link tree in all my social medias. Axiom the Wyze, axiomhiphop.com. Find the link tree in the social media. There's an event page on Facebook called the Midas Album Release Party. We also got Johnny Kunk playing with Sam Gates, pre-funk. We also got the Trees. So we got some folk music, some blues music, some hip-hop. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You kind of, when you're talking about how you spent your time over the pandemic, you're like, I kind of doubled down on motorcycles. And so that's definitely, something, as we all stayed in touch over social, I'm like, okay, he got a bike, he's fixing the bike up, he's going on cruises. So talk to me about motorcycles and hip hop and those cultures and how they come together, and just tell me about your journey on that,
It's actually been a lot of fun. We've gravitated towards a lot of characters who we align just with a lot of different ideologies and things like that, where there's a certain almost brotherhood to it, where you got each other's back. It's the thrill seekers and the adrenaline junkies, right? You guys can bond over those types of things. Same thing with snowboarders and skateboarders. Like,
sure.
Oh, you get into this community and there's a lot of really cool people out there. We were going down to the protests.
I was going to ask you, bikers against racism. So we're not talking about. So if you don't know Axiom, you don't follow him on social media. We're not talking about like sport bikes like Ninjas and Kawasaki's. We're talking about like traditional, road bikes, your Harleys, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And and these guys are, they have the outlaw biker. Sorry, maybe you don't agree with that, but vibes to me. I was trying to think of the one TV show. Help me out, Jax Teller.
Sons of Anarchy.
It's got the Sons of Anarchy vibe, but then it's bikers against racism. So take me on that journey. So you're into motorcycles, but you're definitely not trying to go to the Trump rally.
Right.
So how do you find like-minded people that are like into that, but also really
that's where it started too. Was we showed up at the protest. It started with the George Floyd one, the vigil for George Floyd.
Sure.
And keep running into the same people and over again. So throughout the year, we've created some really good friendships just by showing up at protests and being like, you stand up for these things and we have this in common,
Yeah.
And a lot of times me and my buddy would ride down together and we'd show up and people are like, oh wait, you for us or against us?
Right.
Because we show up with the leathers, there's the patches, and they're like, you guys kind of have this intimidating vibe. Like,
I've seen the TV show.
Yeah. So they're like, we don't really know where you're at. And we're like, wait, we don't like that stigma, you know?
Right.
So we really just decided, hey, let's throw up an anti-racist flag. And so we started this, started an Instagram page, Bikers Against Racism, and just threw up an anti-racist flag and said, hey, we love choppers, we love bikes, we love any kind of bike. It doesn't really matter what you're into. We just like motorcycles. We like hanging out and chilling, and we're not with, the typical stigma that comes with that.
Right.
And so we did a ride, and donated the proceeds to Inclusive Idaho, some really good people over there. And when we did that, a lot of people showed up to that ride. And it was just through Instagram and social media. We put the word out and just said, hey, this is what we're into. And a lot of people rallied to the cause. People who've been in the biker community for ages and ages. Shout out to Petroliana. There's a lot of really good people out there, the older heads and some of the younger people too, that are just like, yeah, we're not about that. We just love bikes.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with the culture. That BS over there, that's not us. That's not the biker community.
Right.
That's them. That's them doing that.
Yeah.
That's not us.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to have that support from a lot of people who've been in the community for a long time and are like, yeah, we stand with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up here and being open to talk about that and explain it, because you're right. We're all the victims of, like, you know, what we learned from television, you know, and we think that's that, and, you know.
I mean, I'll be honest, like, when Bikers for Racism, you know, asked me on IGB, follow me, I was like,
For racism?
or against, sorry.
Yeah, which
That's
club
against
are you?
racism.
That's a different page.
But I was like, is this real? Is this like a spoof
Right,
or
are you
something? But then I
being-
saw, then I saw Axiom was associated with it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll allow this. But at first it's like, okay. But yeah, so go. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow. Yeah, no, so thanks for explaining that, because it's
Yeah.
definitely a collision of cultures that you wouldn't normally see in hip-hop. Now, of course, if you go back in history in hip-hop, it was really the skater kids that were early on into hip-hop, and, you know, they listened to The Clash, but they also listened to Melly Mel. You know, it was just anything that was kind of anti-establishment, anything that was kind of like anti, you know, rules, oppression, you know, all of that. And so there's certainly a subculture of being out on a bike and just living wild, living free, and, you know, screw the man, and, you know, all those kind of things. So I'm not surprised by the collision, but I think that we're just products of the media that we're fed, and so no, we appreciate you explaining that.
I mean, we also listen to a lot of Grateful Dead too, so, you know, it's no, but it was funny too, because a lot of these guys that we and girls, you know, a lot of these people that we hang out with too, like, they're all a part of the snowboarding community too. And it's like, oh, I know you from that one spot, or oh, you're friends with so and so, and it's like we're all part of the same community already, which is this very supportive Boise community of equality and lifting each other up and helping out where we can. So it's like, you need a motorcycle part, I could post something online and I can probably get 5 people to be like, oh, I got something for you. Same thing with snowboard equipment. Oh, I need some boots. Oh, okay, I know someone who's selling something. You know, like, it's a community that looks out for each other.
Well, you kind of mentioned earlier that adrenaline junkies kind of congregate.
Yeah, we gravitate.
Yeah. You guys jumping out of planes or anything like?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it again. Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah.
Where's Edible the pilot when we need him? Man?
I know, right?
So, man, all right, let's play one more. This is Nostalgia, featuring ATG, aka Alexander the Greatest. Now, ATG, he was heavily involved in the early Earthlings movement. I remember him being, I thought he was a little kid, like teenager, when we did the Blues Bouquet show and stuff like that.
But he showed up out rapping everybody. It was insane.
And then did he go to California for a minute or something?
Yeah, he's still down there.
Okay.
Doing his thing. He's doing some gem mining down there. He's starting his own fashion company down there too.
Okay.
Some crazy urban hippie stuff. I don't know what it's about, but I dig it. It's very ATG, and he's actually like sewing the clothes together and everything. So he's getting on it.
Wow. Shouts to ATG.
He produced this song too. He produced a lot of these joints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shouts to ATG then. Nostalgia, go ahead and describe it. I think the name might explain it a little bit, but
yeah, no, this one was written, I think I wrote this one like early March. Like, everything shut down, and this wasn't even before April's events happened.
Yeah.
May's events happened, June's events. Like, every month there was a new catastrophe that you're just like, I can't even deal with this. This was written in like March, and I was like, I'm already sick of it.
Yeah.
Sick of this. Let's just pretend that we're kids and like nothing happened.
So that's the thing. I think Trav and I are like pretty critical of back in the day songs at this point, because it's almost trivial on a hip hop album.
Yep.
But you did something different with it, where you weren't so much like back into the day I listened to the song. You're basically saying, man, I have to appreciate how much simpler life was when I was a kid. And like, because life was really complicated, especially in that March time frame of figuring out, man, what does this mean? How long is it going to last? How am I going to feed my family? Do I still have a job? All those things. Yeah. So the context is helpful. So let's run it. And just to recap, we're hanging out with Axiom the Wyze. He's got a new album out called Midas. This song is called Nostalgia. There's the record release party. Saturday night at Neurolux if you want to get out and actually see a live show. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the eclectic mix of performers and give any shout outs, of course. So here we go, Trav.
Let's do it.
Nostalgia.
I'm sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia. I'm sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia. It was baseball in the streets, chilling out in vans every day of the week, wearing stupid baggy pants. Never worry about no politics, we never took a stance. Just sneaking out late, yo, and trying to smoke some plants. Dip out to the skate park before lit was wicked. Spend my whole day just to try to land a kick flip. Now it's all about how politics divide. I can't close my eyes to the spirit that's inside. It wasn't simple times, we was really living blind. But damn it if I didn't have more peace up in my mind. We was just growing up. Not a lot of struggles, aside from competitions trying to get chicks' numbers or flipping half an Oscar, cause we always bout the hustle. But keep it on the low and stay my ass up out of trouble. LimeWire downloads, only virus ever scared me. And if we masked up, then believe we getting busy. Seems like yesterday I could spit in different cities, but the rhythm of the world took a pause for a minute, yo. I'm sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia.
Check. Yeah.
I'm sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia.
Watch it when I look up in the mirror, I see a mug shot. Maybe it's flashbacks to past lives that I can't quite remember. Play my cards right, yet I never will surrender. My life is like a fire in the coldest December. The realest, the reals cast from a sea of pretenders. I only eat when I remember that my stomach is growling. I've never been the cat to throw the towel in. I'd rather show my teeth and just stay on the prowl. When it's given in, stay down to take a mile. Know your boundaries, stay safe and sound. It's another heart left in the lost and found. Man, just to let you go, tears flow or hearts pounding. Some feel for sure, some feel for show. Meanwhile, someone's heart's drowning. They say love is blind. It's hard to see my surroundings. Feelings cross-eyed. Meanwhile, Cavassier bottles are being down. It's just you talk about it. I'm a man with mountains. And I ain't seen you in so long, I should stop counting. All the minutes and seconds and hours that I waited like a fool with a handful of flowers. Like what we gon' do, just to find out that after all that you played me for a fool. Saying that you love me, what's that word mean to you? Still got me thinking about all the things we've been through. 2020 got me drinking, feeling sentimental. Yeah, I'm sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia. Yeah. Said sick of 2020, need a bottle of nostalgia.
The K, the R, the B, the X, now.
Yes, Jason D hanging out with my man Trav G, Axiom the Wyze, and talking about the album Midas Nostalgia. So tell me again about the lineup, because you know, I think I automatically assume hip hop record release party, it's gonna have a bunch of the local hip hop heads. You turned left and did something different. So what are you scheming up for Saturday? What can people look forward to?
I mean, when was the last time I did something that everybody else was doing for an album release party? I see everybody. I'll throw a party and put a whole bunch of rappers on it, and then everybody else is gonna throw those same rappers on the party. So all right, I gotta pick a different group of rappers.
Okay.
I gotta pick a different group of people.
Okay.
But again, in 2020, everything got weird. Everything changed up, and so it changed our perception of how things are done. So it really gave us an opportunity to reinvent a lot of things. Reinvent the music. Reinvent your process. Reinvent the way you make music, write music, record, release. Reinvent the circles around you was a big part of it, you know. And so these bands are people that I've been hanging out with. They're people who they've been performing at breweries. The only time that we can really get any sort of live performances in 2020 was a lot of brewery shows.
Sure.
A lot of outdoor shows, and everyone standing 6 feet apart with their masks on, and it was just these very weird environments. But these bands were still doing their thing and making people feel good and providing a good just sense of entertainment, you know. And I kept looking around, and we'd usually probably show up on our motorcycles, ride out on a nice summer day, and check out these artists doing this stuff, and they were just good people, and good people flocked to those types of shows, and it was an atmosphere that I really enjoyed and just dove into over the summer. So talking with them, hanging out with them, and we've always talked about, I mean, I've done some stuff with bands before and got drummers and guitar players, and that conversation always happens every time I see a band. I'm like, I rap. You want a rapper up on stage with you doing something? I can rap with that, you know? And so we just talk about it a lot and hang out and kick it and jam, and so it's just like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and you guys you're not rusty by any means. If I hit up any other rapper right now, it's oh man, I haven't done it in a while. It's you know, so I was like, I know these people. You're not lying. These people are good to go. They know what they're doing, and they're great musicians. Just a good time all around. All
right, so let's close out on two things. Tell us the lineup for Saturday night, and then any shout-outs you might have.
So we got The Trees, folk music, and then we got Johnny Boy Kunk, blues. I don't know how else to describe him. He's Muddy Waters-esque. Yeah. And then we got me, Zero, and DJ Rakim finishing out the night. And that's the lineup. We got 3 solid acts.
And if people want to come see you, what time should they get there?
Doors at 7, show at 8. I would suggest getting there as early as possible because, again, there is limited capacity. There's been a lot of tickets sold online. I don't know how close they are to selling out. So if you're not going to go and buy them online and hope to show up and get a ticket, get there early.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you up on the show. You might have the distinction of being the first guest, if not one of the first, probably handful up here at Radio Boise. So thanks for representing so well. You got any last minute shout outs you want to give?
You guys, Radio Boise, Trav, Jason, like you guys providing the platform for us to come do this. I sincerely appreciate it. I know you guys got all the things that you're working on, so we can't wait to see what new music you be coming out with and everything. So again, huge shout out to the Neurolux for letting us do the show. Things are a little weird right now. Everything's still a little tense. It's a lot of people are acting like the pandemic's over. We're almost. I mean, we feel like we're getting closer, but we still got to be cautious. We still got to take precautions and everything like that. So I really appreciate the venue for letting us do it. So everybody's showing up. Be smart. Be safe. And be respectful of the rules.
Your social, if anybody wants to find you.
Go to axiomhiphop.com. Everything exists right there. Again, that's where I've been investing all the time and energy, is to make that website easily navigatable. If you're going on any other socials, it's Axiom the Wyze, AXIOMTHAWYZE, or axiomhiphop.com. It's easy to remember.
There it is, Trav. Get up for Axiom in studio. First guest.
Yes.
In 7 years? Is that what we decided how long it took?
I got a question for Axiom, though.
Yeah,
what's
do
up?
it.
Favorite IPA?
Long-standing debate between these two. We're gonna
whiskey.
All right.
We're just gonna say what you both like is at the Neurolux. So.
Yeah.
All right, yo, let's take them back in the mix, Trav. I got about 15 minutes.
Yep,
we'll see how many songs we can squeeze in before Rowan Dig takes over. And shout out to Crush Corner, also infamous for playing local music. They rock up here every Sunday night, 10 to 11 p.m. with DJ Winkle, Andy O. That's Crush Corner, and we're gonna take you up till 9 o'clock. Jason D, Trav G, The Wreck, Axiom. Salute, brother.
Hey.